What if everything you have ever chased, the money, the title, the applause, the perfect life, was never the finish line, but a trap built by your own mind to keep you running forever? What if the reason you don't have what you want is that you have never actually asked for it correctly? Somewhere between your first heartbreak and your last excuse, you were taught to want things the way everyone else wants them, loud, desperate, attached. But the ones who actually get everything, they stopped chasing, they started becoming. In the next 60 seconds, I am not going to motivate you. I am going to dismantle everything you think you know about getting what you want, and by the end, you will either walk away changed or you will walk away exactly the same person who clicked on this video for the 100th time this year, still waiting. Which one will you be? Stay till the end. It gets uncomfortable. What if the thing you have been chasing your entire life was never the goal? It was the bait. You want the money. You want the relationship. You want the recognition. But have you ever stopped in complete silence and asked yourself, is this desire mine, or was it planted in me by a world that profits from my hunger? Every advertisement, every comparison, every scroll on your phone is quietly writing a list of wants inside your head that were never yours to begin with. You are not chasing your dreams. You are chasing a reflection someone else built for you in a mirror you didn't choose. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Most people spend their entire lives climbing a ladder, only to reach the top and realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. Before you ask, how do I get what I want? You must first ask a far more dangerous question. Do I even know what I want? Or am I simply running from the fear of standing still? Silence will answer this question. Noise never will. The first way to get everything is to stop and interrogate the want itself before you chase it into the ground. What if wanting something too desperately is the exact reason you can't have it? Watch water. It never forces its way through stone. Yet given enough time, it cuts canyons. Desperation is loud. It is tense. It repels the very thing it reaches for. People can feel it. Opportunities can feel it. Even your own body rejects it through stress and anxiety. But calm, focused intention, that is unstoppable. This is not about giving up. This is about releasing the grip so tightly wrapped around the outcome that you cannot even see the path anymore. The archer who stares too hard at the target often misses. The one who trusts the form, the breath, the release hits it without effort. So here is the shocking part. The people who get everything they want are usually the ones who have quietly, internally, let go of needing it. Not because they don't care, but because their peace no longer depends on the result. And ironically, that peace is exactly what makes them magnetic to the very things they once chased so painfully. What if your mind, the very thing you think is helping you succeed, is actually your greatest obstacle? Every fear you have ever felt, every doubt that stopped you at the door of your own potential was manufactured in the same 3 pounds of flesh sitting inside your skull. You were not born afraid of failure. You were not born comparing yourself to strangers on a screen. Somewhere along the way, your mind became a courtroom where you are both the accused and the harshest judge, sentencing yourself daily to mediocrity before you even attempt anything. The mind will tell you the road is too long, the risk too great, the timing too wrong, and it will sound so convincing that you will believe it is wisdom, when really it is fear, wearing a disguise. Getting everything you want requires a war you will never see on the outside, a war fought in silence, alone at 5 a.m. when no one is clapping for you. You do not need to silence the mind forever. You only need to stop obeying it the moment it whispers stop. What if motivation was never meant to get you there? And the fact that you keep waiting to feel motivated is the very reason you are still standing in the same place you were a year ago. Motivation is a guest. It visits, it inspires, and then, without warning, it leaves. If your entire pursuit of everything you want depends on a guest who comes and goes as they please, you have built your future on sand. Discipline does not ask how you feel. Discipline does not negotiate with your excuses at midnight or your exhaustion at dawn. Discipline shows up when motivation has long abandoned the room, and it is discipline, quiet, unglamorous, repetitive discipline that has built every fortune, every mastery, every transformation you have ever admired from a distance. The people who appear to have everything did not wait to feel ready. They trained their body to move, whether the fire was burning or not, until the discipline itself became the fire. Stop waiting for inspiration to knock. Build the habit that does not need it to answer the door. What if the loudest voice in the room is usually the weakest one, and true power has always lived in silence? You have been taught that to get what you want, you must announce it, prove it, defend it to everyone who doubts you. But watch closely. The ones who actually accumulate mastery rarely speak of it before it is finished. They do not need applause mid-journey because their focus has not leaked out through their mouths. Every time you explain your unfinished goal to someone, a small part of the reward chemical in your brain releases early, tricking you into feeling accomplished before you have done the work. This is why so many dreams die in conversation instead of in action. Silence is not weakness, it is a vault. It protects your energy, your plan, and your ambition from the opinions, jealousy, and doubt of people who were never going to walk the road with you anyway. If you want everything, you must first learn to want it quietly, to let your results speak in a language louder than any promise you ever made out loud. What if the pain you are so desperately trying to avoid is actually the only teacher qualified to give you what you want? You have spent years running from failure, from rejection, from the sting of falling short, treating pain like an enemy to be defeated instead of a curriculum to be studied. But every skill you have ever mastered, every strength you now carry, was forged in a moment of discomfort you once tried to escape. The fire does not punish the metal, it shapes it. The mountain does not oppose the climber, it builds him. If you keep avoiding every hard conversation, every difficult training session, every uncomfortable truth about yourself, you are not protecting your future, you are starving it. Suffering, when faced instead of avoided, becomes information. What is weak in you, what needs to change, what you are finally ready to release. The people who get everything are not the ones who suffered less. They are the ones who stopped resenting the suffering and started extracting the lesson hidden inside it. What if you already have everything you need to get everything you want, and the only thing missing is alignment, not ability? You do not lack the talent, you do not lack the time. What you lack is the terrifying simplicity of thinking one thing, saying the same thing, and doing that exact thing every single day without contradiction. Most people are three different people: the one who dreams at night, the one who talks about it during the day, and the one who acts completely differently when no one is watching. This division is why so much energy is wasted and so little is achieved, not because the goal was too big, but because the self was too divided to reach it. When your thought, your word, and your action finally point in the same direction, you stop needing extra motivation, extra luck, or extra permission. Life stops resisting you because you have stopped resisting yourself. This final way is not a technique, it is a state of being. And once you enter it, getting everything you want stops feeling like a chase and starts feeling like an inevitable arrival. Desire versus need. Most people chase what they want without ever asking if it's what they actually need. This is the root confusion the whole speech is built on. Discipline beats motivation. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire that survives the storm. The speech must hammer this contrast repeatedly. The mind is the first battlefield. Before you conquer the world, you must conquer the noise inside your own skull. Detachment creates power. The less you cling to an outcome, the more control you actually have over it. This is counterintuitive and should feel shocking to the viewer. Suffering is curriculum, not punishment. Every obstacle is training data. Reframe pain as a teacher, not an enemy. Alignment over ambition. When your thoughts, words, and actions point the same direction, results become inevitable, not because you want them more, but because you no longer waste energy on internal conflict. You did not come this far to walk away unchanged. Everything you want, the peace, the success, the life you keep imagining in the quiet moments before sleep, was never hiding behind luck, timing, or other people's approval. It was hiding behind your own noise, your own attachment, your own division between who you say you are and who you actually become when the room is empty. The 7 ways are not 7 separate steps. They are 7 doors to the same room, and that room is you, finally aligned, finally silent enough to hear what you actually want, and finally disciplined enough to build it without needing applause along the way. You do not need everything the world is selling you. You need to become someone who no longer needs to chase, because you have already arrived at peace with yourself. That is when everything else simply follows. Wherever you are on this journey, whether you are just starting to question your own wants or you are already deep in the discipline, no one claps for, I wish you the clarity to see what is truly yours to chase and the strength to let go of everything that was never meant for you. Thank you for spending these minutes here. Go build the life you have been quietly promising yourself. Good luck, and I will see you in the next one. Artifacts Wise Women's 7 Rules Speech Document, MD